Oftentimes, many of us have difficulty moving on. I've done a lot of videos here about how to move on, how to let go of pain, how to deal with pain. But a lot of us have a really hard time letting go. Whether it's letting go of the past, whether it's letting go of a situation we're in, whether it's letting go of the aspect of we just have to let go so we can move forward, whether it's letting go of the notion that we messed up really badly and we can't let go of that notion. Most people have an issue with closure. And today I want to talk about how you can bring about closure, how you can get closure in your life, or how you can get closure with anything in your life you're dealing with that you need to just let go and close the door. When I think about closure, I think about, going into a room and turning off all the lights and closing the door. But I don't close the door until I check the room and make sure that everything is in place, that there are no ghosts or goblins in there. And I come out that door and I close that door because I'm confident that I've left the room in a way which is, acceptable not just to me, but to anybody else coming in the room. That's how I look at closure. Closure is making sure that you've done everything that you can to make sure that you're comfortable. Closure is not about the other person. Closure is not about wanting them to accept that you have forgiven them or that you need forgiveness. Sometimes you're not going to get forgiveness from the other person. I learned that valuable lesson with my mother many years ago. When I was in my 20s, I had a spiritual experience and I realized, wait a minute, she may never say sorry to me. She may never even tell me the things I want her to tell me, like I'm beautiful or that she loves me. And I may never hear those words. And just the reality of that made me move past the fact that I was stuck, I had to move on. I had to realize that within myself, that closure had to come with me. It couldn't come from her. And a lot of us want closure. We want closure from the other person. We want the other person to say sorry. We want the other person to acknowledge our feelings or acknowledge the amount of pain they've caused us or the amount of hurt or damage they've done to our lives. But the truth of the matter is that might never come. You may never get that. So a lot of people are stuck because they can't move past that point, the point of acceptance. When I think about closure, I think about the 5 stages of grief. I think about, just the first stage is you have to accept things. You have to get angry. You have to, get to the place where you're depressed and go through the motions and realize, you know what, I'm depressed because this is self-pity, or you know what, I'm not accepting this because for the reasons I just said, I can't accept that this is over, or I can't accept that it ended the way it ended, or bargaining. What if I did this, or what if I had done that, or, the whole fact that I need to do this, and I need to move, I should have done differently, I could have done better. But you spend so much time in bargaining or resentment or holding on to the fact that, it's denial, really, when you think about it. You're in denial of the fact that things have ended and that you have to accept that they have. So one of the ways you can deal with closure is to look at the 5 stages of grief. The 5 stages of grief really help you to go through the motions to see where you are at in the process of letting go of the relationship or letting go of the issue that you're dealing with. A lot of us stay in the place of anger for a long time. We're not just angry at the other person, we're more angry at ourselves. And a lot of us use that anger as motivation. How many of you realize that anger is one of the biggest motivators? I mean, I stayed angry with my mom for so long that I wanted to prove to her that I was better than what she said I was. I could do the things that she thought I couldn't do. And that anger fueled me for a long time, to the point where I got to the place where I wasn't angry anymore. And then I ran out of fuel. When my mom died, I had no more fuel. All the frustration, and before she had died, I had made peace with her, but I realized for so many years that the anger that I felt towards her was fuel that I used to propel me through life. Anger can be a good motivator. It is a great motivator, but it is very unnecessary when it comes to the aspect of healing. You can't heal if you hold on to anger. You can't heal if you hold on to frustration. You can't heal if you have an unforgiving spirit. All of these things I've addressed in different videos on this channel, and you can go back and look at the videos to help you to deal with the unforgiveness or the anger or just learning to move forward. But closure is necessary. Closure is necessary to move on, to move on to greatness. That's how I like to say it. Move on to greatness. There's greatness inside each of us. All of us have the ability and the capacity to accomplish great things. But a lot of times in our lives, because we refuse to close a door or to make sure that there's closure on our end, what happens is that we don't move forward. We find ourselves stuck. We find ourselves repeating patterns of behavior. We find ourselves doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing, but for some reason we can't stop doing them. It's like repetitive behavior and repetitive actions, and we don't know how to stop these things. Find closure. Learn how to forgive yourself. Learn how to accept the inevitability that what happened, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Think about this. If all of us were given an opportunity to go back and change some aspect of our past, things would be different, right? I don't know what I would change. I've thought about that question myself, and I've often thought, if I had to change one thing in my life, I would be afraid to touch anything because I'm afraid I might screw it up in a different way. But maybe you're not like that. Maybe you know exactly what you wanted to change. But here's the thing. If you don't possess the ability to go back and change it, then why spend all this energy and spend all this effort in thinking about what you can do about something that you cannot change? It is time to move forward. It's time to find closure. Like I said, I'm giving you the tools. Research the 5 stages of grief. I'm going to put a link in my YouTube video today for you, the 5 stages of grief. Look at those 5 stages. You know, the first stage is denial. For many of us in dealing with closure, first of all, when something happens, we're in denial. Did this really happen? Is this really happening? Oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? You know, the second stage is anger. How the heck? Why the? You get angry. You get really angry. And if you do anger the way I do, you do it really good, right? We get angry. And then the next stage is depression. How many of you are still depressed because you don't have closure about something in your past or something that happened not too long ago? How many of you are depressed? Depression is about self-pity. When my mother was alive, I told her this story, and it's the truth. She used to stare out the window. She was depressed because she had lost her job and she didn't know what she was going to do. And one day I called her, I said, Mom, here's the thing. You're throwing a pity party. And when you throw a pity party, guess who's at that pity party with you? And she said, who? I said, it's not God. It's something other than God. She stopped throwing pity parties. She even mentioned it and referenced it years later. And she said, yeah, I don't throw pity parties anymore because I don't want the devil at my party. And she stopped throwing pity parties. Yeah, depression is about how you feel about yourself. You're feeling sorry. You want to hug yourself. You want to nurse yourself, or you want somebody to hug you and say it's okay. Sometimes you're not going to get that person to hug you to tell you it's okay. You're going to have to hug yourself. You're going to have to reach out and put your arms around yourself and say, you know what? I love myself and I'm sorry. Hug the child in you. Hug the teenager in you. Hug the young adult in you. Hug the adult in you that needs nurturing. The only way to find closure is for you to accept that it doesn't have to be with anybody else and it does not lie with anybody else. Closure is about you. You need to go into that room today. And remember, if you want to, rearrange the room to make sure that the room is adequate for you, if you want to take something out of the room that you think needs to come out of that room so you can be comfortable going back into that room, you do whatever it takes today. You do whatever is necessary to move past this point. Remember, closure is a hindrance. It's a hindrance to your success. But more importantly, it's a hindrance to you living a happy life. My name is Ingrid Felton. As always, thank you for visiting the YouTube channel today. I look forward always to seeing you come in to visit me. Share the videos. Please subscribe to the videos. Like the videos. Tell others about what I'm doing so they can join us here. I want to touch as many lives as possible and to help as many people as I can. We're in this together. Sharing is caring, like I said. Please share and thank you again. Also visit my website, thejourneyoftruth.com. Bye.